This 125 Cine shuttle was booked in with me after it cut out on the customer and wouldn't restart. But when I came to it, you hit that starter and it doesn't sound like there's a fat lot of compression. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the seat bucket out and I'm going to remove the front panel so I can gain access to the front of the engine. When the seat's out, you can remove a few screws here, remove that front panel and gain full access. You can see what I mean here. Now I'm going to remove that HT lead and get the spark plug out. The reason for this is to do a compression test, but upon pulling the spark plug out, I noticed this. Yep, that spark plug is completely mangled.
It seems this Cine shuttle has had some severe engine failure. As you can see there, that spark plug is knackered.
Yep, a spark plug looking like this suggests that something has gone catastrophically wrong in that engine. And when I hit the starter motor to turn the bike over, you can hear everything rattling around inside, which is definitely not a good sign. The bit that's more worrying, however, this bike has only done 5,000 miles from new, and it's only 2 years old. So the customer went back to the dealership to see what could be done. The customer informed the dealership that he believed the engine had failed and that it should be covered under warranty, as this bike comes with a 7-year manufacturer's warranty. But they told him he no longer had a warranty after he missed one of his services. Sounds crazy, but let me explain. When you buy a new vehicle, they often come with a massive warranty. To keep this in place, you've got to stick to a service schedule. If you do, fantastic, but if you don't, your warranty is void, even if you miss just one of your services. So that leaves us in a bit of a predicament with what to do with this Cine. So without further ado, let's start getting the engine out. First of all, the battery comes off, and now I've got to remove the seat bucket and that front panel again. Just a few bolts and the seat bucket comes out, and then a few Phillips screws to get the front panel off. This time we get to remove the little storage compartment in the middle because we are actually taking the engine out today. That out the way and put to the side, you can see how we've got fantastic access to everything. I need to take everything off this right hand side, but first I'm going to start by taking everything off the top, all the inlet manifold, and unplugging all the connections that are connected to the engine, such as stator, starter motor and a few more. Now I can go ahead and start getting the exhaust off. It comes off pretty simply. Now I can take the rear caliper off, the rear exhaust bracket and the rear shock absorber. As you can see here, there's quite a few bolts that need to come off, and I also need to take that rear hugger off as well. Time to undo the rear wheel nut now, and then that bracket should come right off. And with a little bit of persuasion, the wheel will come off as well. Now that's out of the way, there's not really a fat lot holding this engine in, and it does look so bare with everything taken off it. I've just got to undo the left rear shock and take off the front engine mount, and then it's ready to come out. Time to get my flat plate slid under the engine to take the weight of it. Now I can undo the bolts and slowly move the engine down and back out of the bike. And just like that, the engine's out. Now it's time to take a look at what's actually gone wrong in this engine. So here I am now, chucking it on my workbench to start taking that top end apart. I'm starting by removing all the plastic covers, taking the rocker cover off and slowly unbolting the cylinder head. Yep, that answers our question. It seems that this has dropped a valve. You can see there where the exhaust valve has gone and it's actually just sitting on top of the piston. It's even put a hole in the middle of the piston as well. This would explain the rattling when the engine was turning over, and it will also explain the zero compression and the mangled spark plug. Even after taking the barrel off here, you can see it is peppered with dents inside it. So now we need to figure out what's best to do for the customer. The first option is to rebuild the engine. That would mean stripping it down, replacing it for all the parts, but the main problem here is there's a massive hole in the piston, which means metal has gone in there. And although the parts wouldn't cost much, a full engine rebuild would cost a fortune in labour. Not to mention potentially finding even more damaged parts when the engine does come apart. So let's look at another option. We could buy a brand new engine from Cine, but it would cost £630. I also had a look online to see if there's any used engines available, and I found this. There is a used one out of a 2023 bike, however it's still over £400 and we don't really know the true history behind it. But there is another option. Let me show you. With a little bit of research, I could actually cross-reference the parts of this bike and found the engine is the same as a Moto Titan. And when I went to Moto to see how much it was actually £485 for a brand spanking new engine, which is a lot better than spending £630 for arguably the same thing. So you can probably guess what we did. We bought the Moto engine, brand spanking new with a 12-month warranty. But before I go ahead and fit this brand new engine to the bike, I've got to do a few checks first. If you ever buy a brand new engine that comes fully assembled, always check the valve clearances before fitting it. So here I've removed the rocker cover and lined it up to top dead center, which you can see from these lines on the cam. Now it's time to check the inlet valve clearance and the exhaust valve clearance. This is usually the one that is closed up. So with the valve clearances checked and any other little bits fitted, it's time to get the rocker cover bolted back on and to get this engine in the bike. And just like that, the engine is pretty much in place, the top engine mount is in and the rear left shock is attached. Time to get the wheel in now, get that exhaust bracket on and get everything else bolted to it, ensuring that all the brake lines and everything like that are all routed correctly. Now I can go ahead and get that exhaust put back onto the bike. A few bolts at the front and a couple at the back, and then it's all up in place. Now I can go and unplug everything in, like the stator, starter motor, and get the inlet manifold back on and in position, ensuring to get everything plugged in and done correctly. It's really starting to come together now and look a little bit more like a bike again. Just a few finishing touches on the left hand side of the bike to put on now, like the airbox and things like that, and then we can start getting this bike running. After removing the plastic cover, I can get the airbox on and everything bolted back into place. And just like that, it's all together again. With the airbox fitted and everything else connected up, this bike is almost ready to get up and running. But next, we've got to drain the oil out. This is another thing you should always do when you buy a complete engine. I'm draining the oil out now and putting some fresh oil in it, just so I know that it's got the correct amount and the correct oil in the engine before it runs. With the oil level checked, it's now time for me to refit the battery back onto the bike and then we can get it going. First startup is a success. I'm checking the charging system now to ensure the stator is working properly, and now I'm going to clear the fault codes from when it cut out when the engine went bang before. This can sometimes happen when an engine just suddenly cuts out because the bike doesn't really know what's gone on. But with that fault code cleared and it's not come back on, it's time to get everything reassembled, like the small storage box here, the seat bucket and the front panel that goes on the front of the engine. These are mostly just finishing touches really, but this bike has come a long way from being a non-runner with a dropped valve to having a brand new engine fitted to it. Just got to click that seat down now and give the customer his new service schedule so that he can keep the warranty in place on the engine. And just like that, this bike's done. This bike is now running like a dream and ready to go back on the road again. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share away. And if you did want to book your bike in, drop me a message or give me a call.